on Monday, you were assigned this word web, right? It told you that you need to have at least 3 pieces of evidence for your claim and your counterclaim. It also was set up very similar to one we've worked with before. I just added some more detail to it for you. Okay. If we're looking at this word web, which hopefully you are, and you will have time to work on this today, and we'll also cover the introduction for some of those of you that got it finished. What is the centerpiece that should be going right here? The argument. Okay, so let's see if this guy shouldn't need to insert a text box. What is my argument again? I always forget it. Okay, technology. It's almost like we've used this over and over again. Complicate / improve the actions of adolescents. Should I be able to spell this correctly by now and know exactly what this is? The answer is yes, you little turds. You should be able to by now. Okay, if not, that tells me you probably have not been retyping it or reusing it every time, which I told you a lot of you would struggle with. Okay, but it's been the same from the get-go. I'm going to go ahead and enlarge mine so that I can see it easily once I get to here. Okay, now the next part that I told you to do is to come up with 2 claims and 1 counterclaim. Does anybody want to share their claim with me or one of their claims? Correct. It's your argument that you were making. Okay. Can I just simply say at this point, my main idea is that social media and technology complicates, or should I be more specific? Okay. So I should be more specific than just saying complicates. Was anyone more specific than that? Lord, I hope so. What you got, Bruce? People can adapt to things better with technology. That's a pretty good start. What things are you talking about? Okay, so you're talking about adapt to everyday life better? Okay. Will that be more specific than things? Do you see what I'm saying there, Bruce? Now, Bruce, were you able to go through your evidence and find the number being the actual assignment number and the slide? Were you able to find that? Okay. That would be a great idea. Did you put the whole statement? Is that what you did? That's okay too. And I like that you did that because it's there for you to use later. But I want you to find the slide number and the assignment it's in. The reason being is that you're going to have to reference it in your paper. Okay? You're going to have to use that information in your paper. Does that make sense what I'm telling, Bruce? So whatever number, and this was off of, yeah, it was Life in the 21st Century, right? At home, Life at Home in the 21st Century. So that should have been assignment number 4. And then what slide did you have? 6. Okay. Now, Bruce went ahead and went the extra mile and went ahead and put his information in here that he wanted to use. That's outstanding. Okay. Now, you have to find 3 different slides that you're going to use for evidence. That's why you've collected all of this evidence in the first place. You have to find at least 3. Bruce, were you able to find 3 pieces of evidence to support that main idea? Okay. Was that very hard to do? Pretty simple because you knew what you wanted to argue at this point, right? You've done the work before, okay? So go back and just find the assignment and the slide number, and I think that's all you really have to do, right? Okay. Now, that's his first claim, right? Now, if I were you, I might want to go ahead, if I'll forget, to remember that this is claim number 1. So I might put that down. You can even replace that with main idea if you want to. Okay. Once I have that one filled out, now I can move on to my claim number 2. Does anyone else have a different claim? Someone other than Bruce? Maddie, I see writing on yours, so I know you have some. Oh, Maddie, you're a turd. All right. Since we don't want to share any more claims, I can't tweak that part, but same thing. Come up with another claim. Have at least 3 pieces of evidence to back it up. Okay. One of the things that you might be able to rely on is not only how it improves everyday life, but maybe how it can make education simpler. Maybe it's collecting information. Possibly it's just being able to navigate a new world with technology because that's what the world's going to. Did anyone come up with a good counterclaim? Because in this next, in at least one of these, you have to have a counterclaim. What do you got, Bruce? Okay, so you just simply said the mental health aspect. Okay, do you know how you want to phrase this just yet? Like, do you have a full sentence that you want to write there yet? For the main idea. If not, and this is all you have, the mental health aspect of technology, if you don't know how you want to start your paragraph off there and you don't have a main idea, a main sentence yet, it's all right. Okay? If you don't have a full main sentence yet, perfectly fine. Okay. Now, if you want to get even more specific, the effects, right? You can tweak this to say the effects technology has on mental health. Either way you have this phrase, it's a good start. It'll at least get your idea out there. Okay. And then, Bruce, I imagine that you've got some brain research down here in your evidence. Okay. And you probably just have to go back and find the number and slide. Does anyone else have a different counterclaim to the other side? Is it just a matter of needing more time to work? Okay. Now, the conclusion part of this, okay, the conclusion part of all of this, and it's the one that I won't spend a great deal of time doing just yet, is how you're going to dismantle, and the counterclaim is the same way. The counterclaim, you want to dismantle the other side's argument. Okay, so hopefully, Bruce, you're not just going to take your counterclaim you have and point out that technology is harmful to the human brain. Hopefully, you're going to use that as a way to build up your argument still. Does that make sense? And we'll cover that some more as we get into the counterclaim specifically. The conclusion part of this is, what are you going to use in your conclusion as your strongest points? This can be another part where you're drawing new information, but you specifically want to look at your strongest points to your argument and use evidence to back it up. Okay. This is also where you're making your call to action. This is where you want to ask someone to make a change. We'll review those terms tomorrow because we'll have a little bit more time. Questions about what you had for yesterday? No?